This is the universe speaking to you. You are now tuned into the Modern Spiritual Life Coaching Podcast by the certified master life coach and spiritual guide, Coach Chip. Welcome, souls. We now begin this episode of a transformational journey. Unedited, unscripted, and creating something from nothingness. Now, let there be light on Modern Spiritual Life Coaching.
This is the Morning Gratitude. It's a Happy Pandemic Monday, episode 131 on the Modern Spiritual Podcast.
Just another sunny day in Southern California. It's where the people came to play. Don't let them transform you. Come and see what you've been missing on a little slice of heaven. It's the only place we're living. It's that West Coast point of view. Easy when it's always summertime fun. You and I get free attitude. Who cares what the people think? It's been turning kinda gray in Southern California, but I'm allergic to the rain. What happened to euphoria? Don't worry about it, damn thing. I'm too excited. Dark liquor with the palm trees. It's all or nothing, ooh, it's all or nothing. Ignore the signs and socialize. Come and see what you've been missing on a little slice of heaven. It's the only place we're living. It's that West Coast point of view. Easy when it's always summertime fun. You and I get free attitude. Who cares what the people think? 'Cause it's that West Coast point of view. Easy when it's always summertime fun. You and I get free attitude. Who cares what the people think?
Now it's fun and easy to join the Modern Spiritual Podcast mailing list directly from your phone. Just send your email address by text message. Text the word Modern Spiritual to 22828 to get started. Try it now. Send your email address by text message. Text the word Modern Spiritual to 22828 to get started. Message and data rates may apply.
Now here's your host, Master Certified Alchemy Coach Chip, on the Modern Spiritual Podcast Live.
And here we are back on a Happy Pandemic Monday. Alchemy Coach Chip. From the long ride on Friday, we were going to Los Angeles, a 720-mile round trip. And we did very good. The health was standing up to it. It was great. But we got back late on Friday. So that meant that we had to get up and return the car really early and stuff. And that made us obviously not able to come up with a half hour on Saturday. But we decided to save it until today because coming up in this half hour, we've got an awesome affirmation coming up, as well as the last chapter of James Allen's Path to Prosperity. And we have gone a whole long couple of weeks with him, and we went through many, many chapters, learning and understanding the laws of the universe and how they work within the energies of ourselves, understanding life and getting all the questions or the answers of our questions from how things are supposed to work in life. And he shed a lot of light onto this. He was one great philosopher of his time, but always a great philosopher of all time. So right now we're going to get into James Allen's last chapter, but we'll have many, many more coming up on many other episodes right here at the Modern Spiritual Life Podcasting. And let's get into it right now.
The Path of Prosperity by James Allen, Chapter 7. The Realization of Prosperity. It is granted only to the heart that abounds with integrity, trust, generosity, and love to realize true prosperity. The heart that is not possessed of these qualities cannot know prosperity. For prosperity, like happiness, is not an outward possession, but an inward realization. The greedy man may become a millionaire, but he will always be wretched and mean and poor, and will even consider himself outwardly poor, so long as there is a man in the world who is richer than himself. Whilst the upright, the open-handed and loving, will realize a full and rich prosperity, even though their outward possessions may be small. He is poor who is dissatisfied. He is rich who is contented with what he has. And he is richer who is generous with what he has. When we contemplate the fact that the universe is abounding in all good things, material as well as spiritual, and compare it with man's blind eagerness to secure a few gold coins or a few acres of dirt, it is then that we realize how dark and ignorant selfishness is. It is then that we know that self-seeking is self-destruction. Nature gives all without reservation, and loses nothing. Man, grasping all, loses everything. If you would realize true prosperity, do not settle down, as many have done, into the belief that if you do right, everything will go wrong. Do not allow the word competition to shake your faith in the supremacy of righteousness. I care not what men may say about the laws of competition. For do I not know the unchangeable law, which shall one day put them all to rout, and which puts them to rout even now, in the heart and life of the righteous man? And knowing this law, I can contemplate all dishonesty with undisturbed repose, for I know where certain destruction awaits it. Under all circumstances, do that which you believe to be right, and trust the law. Trust the divine power that is eminent in the universe, and it will never desert you, and you will always be protected. By such a trust, all your losses will be converted into gains, and all curses which threaten will be transmuted into blessings. Never let go of integrity, generosity, and love, for these, coupled with energy, will lift you into the truly prosperous state. Do not believe the world when it tells you that you must attend to number one first, and to others afterwards. To do this is not to think of others at all, but only of one's own comforts. To those who practice this, the day will come when they will be deserted by all, and when they cry out in their loneliness and anguish, there will be no one to hear and help them. To consider oneself before all others is to cramp and warp and hinder every noble and divine impulse. Let your soul expand. Let your heart reach out to others in loving and generous warmth, and great and lasting will be your joy, and all prosperity will come to you. Those who have wandered from the highway of righteousness guard themselves against competition. Those who always pursue the right need not to trouble about such defense. This is no empty statement. There are men today who, by the power of integrity and faith, have defied all competition, and who, without swerving in the least from their methods, when competed with, have risen steadily into prosperity, whilst those who tried to undermine them have fallen back defeated. To possess those inward qualities which constitute goodness is to be armored against all the powers of evil, and to be doubly protected in every time of trial. And to build oneself up in those qualities is to build up a success which cannot be shaken, and to enter into a prosperity which will endure forever. The white robe of the heart invisible is stained with sin and sorrow, grief and pain, and all repentant pools and springs of prayer shall not avail to wash it white again. While in the path of ignorance I walk, the stains of error will not cease to cling. Defilements mark the crooked path of self, where anguish lurks and disappointments sting. Knowledge and wisdom only can avail to purify and make my garment clean. For therein lie love's waters, therein rests peace undisturbed, eternal, and serene. Sin and repentance is the path of pain. Knowledge and wisdom is the path of peace. By the near way of practice I will find where bliss begins, how pains and sorrows cease. Self shall depart, and truth shall take its place. The changeless one, the indivisible, shall take up his abode in me, and cleanse the white robe of the heart invisible. End of Chapter 7. Recording by Andrea Fiore. End of The Path of Prosperity by James Allen.
This is Alchemy Coach Chip. I'd like to thank you for being a listener to the Modern Spiritual Podcast. It means a lot to me that you guys are subscribing and you're listening and passing this along to your friends to help keep you on the path to prosperity. Now you can listen to my other channel on the Modern Spiritual Podcast, The Path to Prosperity with The Lounge, with me, your host, Alchemy Coach Chip. I talk about the barriers, the tests, the things that go through from hell to heaven, and that's how you have to get to the other side. It's true experiences from the past to the present. Check it out on anchor.fm/Coach Chip.
Hey fans, this is SpongeBob SquarePants. You're listening to the Master Certified Alchemy Coach Chip on the Modern Spiritual Podcast.
If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. I attract positive energy like a magnet. I've accomplished great things in my life. I am strong enough to be myself. I keep my energy level high. I see my life change dramatically for the good. I am who I need to be in this moment. My soul loves freedom. I am constantly raising my vibration. I have the power to change my life. I am proud of what I have achieved in life. My beliefs contain power. I choose carefully what I believe. I accept all good luck that comes my way. I surrender to my higher power now in this moment. I am so energized today. The more energy I give, the more I receive. I now choose to have lots of energy. Every day I discover new pathways in my mind. I focus on my consciousness and am energized. I am instantly centered in this moment. I now choose to shift my perceptions towards joy and love. My life is filled with miracles and revelations. I choose to be filled with energy, love, and light today. I am constantly raising my vibration.
That's your daily affirmations to raise your vibration. And that's what we'll be doing on each and every program, except the music row. That's a little different. Coming up this Sunday, and then starting, I believe, I kind of went backwards, on Thursday, October 1st, we begin our Halloween festy, as we call it, because of the soul and spirit. So we celebrate that whole entire month because of the spirit. And we will have different types of spirit and paranormal stories that presents themselves and will tell the story themselves. I know, like, a lot of people like a little bit of fear in their life, a little bit, just something that's going to be a little different. And our programming will be changing. Also, we'll be adding new things, new voices, and new people to the program, such as we'll be doing a healthy tip to boost your immune system and to eat healthier as you're going through your spiritual awakening and your enlightenment. And there's so much more holiday stuff coming up as well for the Thanksgiving and Christmas, because we're almost at the end of the year here. And this is where our programming shifts. And it's pretty cool because we come up to our 1-year anniversary of being on the air. And this means you get to hear the whole year of how I programmed this entire podcast and how it went from zero and it escalated up to where it is, and it gets better and better as we go. So in the meantime, I'm going to leave you guys with this different type of, I'm going to call it meditation. It sounds a little not like your typical meditation, but hopefully that you'll be able to get to it. It's a sensory, and it will help you wake up the other sensories that are sleeping or that have been blocked for a long time. And by listening to some of this stuff on an ongoing basis, regular basis, you will then start to unlock those higher sensories. And such as, like myself, is I have the higher sensories for my taste and my smell, as well as my perception. So in other words, when I sit down and I eat something, I can taste every ingredient in the food, good or bad. And on Saturday, we went to Whataburger to get that new limited Dr. Pepper shake. And I told the lady, I said, this does not taste like a Dr. Pepper. And she says, what does it taste like? And I told her what every ingredient was in there. So if it was a secret ingredient, well, I knocked it out because I don't taste no Dr. Pepper, maybe just a little bit at the very end of it, but it has chocolate, vanilla, strawberry ice cream, and it has the Dr. Pepper, a little bit of that. I don't know if it's a powder. It may be a powder or just a squirt of Dr. Pepper in it. But I couldn't taste that, but everything else inside the ice cream and the cream of that shake, I could taste. And when you get into that type of sensories, you're going to know what's good and what's bad for you. So that's what these sensory programs do as well. Let's get into that. But in the meantime, I'll be back on Music Roll, which is Wednesday, trying to get back into the groove here. And then we'll move it on Thursday with the Halloween with that, and then we'll kick it back on Friday with Fried Friday. And we'll have a lot of new things coming up. So be sure to subscribe to the RSS feed, and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe to us on YouTube as well. In the meantime, have a great day, great morning, great afternoon, wherever you're listening to from around the world, and take care and be safe right here on the Modern Spiritual Podcast.